All right, hey everyone, it's Andy from the Midian Guard, and today we're going to look at Flesh and Blood. We've got a huge release coming out on Friday. There's a lot of people out there asking about Flesh and Blood, and so I got a deck out and we're going to go through just the basics of Flesh and Blood and how to play. There'll be future videos going throughout the week in regards to the various characters and how they play, but today we'll look at how we play Flesh and Blood. All right. So we'll get the camera down onto the table and we'll see how we go with this. All right. Now I might want to zoom in because some of this stuff will be pretty important. So with the basics of the game, you do get 4 cards to play with, and that's what we're playing with, just 4 cards. Now I'll get this right with the camera as we're going. Now with these cards, and I'll get these out, you've got, most cards have 3 colors, okay? And you've got yellow, blue, and red. Or really it goes red, yellow, and blue. Now, red ones will be the most powerful. So, parts of a card I should go through first. Up here, you've got what's claimed as your pitch value. There's 3 circles there. Reds are 1 pitch value. And then you go to yellow and blue, each one increasing. Blue finishes off with 3 pitch value. Over here on the right, you've got a cost. As you will see with this one, it's a cost of 2. Okay, some cards will cost 0 all the way up to like 5, 6. Who knows? I haven't seen a double-digit one yet, but who knows what's coming. All right, and in the bottom left corner, you've got how much damage this card will do. Not all cards have a damage icon, but most actions and attacks will. And same thing with the defense. Cards can be used for defense as well. And that's most cards. When these cards are blanked out, you can't use them for either attack or defense wherever they're blocked out, okay? So that's the basics of a card. You've also got the text here with the special rules on what it does. And you've got the heading there for what the title of the card is. For those collectors and people interested, when you're searching for various cards, you've got a particular number down here. Now these are Welcome to Wraith cards, and they start with WTR and then a number. Also got the title of the artist as well. So you start with 4 cards in hand of a game. I will get onto the leaders as well, but first just the basics of the game and how it plays. You look at the value of what a card costs. These are not very good examples, so I'm just going to get rid of some of these zeros and bring in some other cards. Let's take a look at... a lot of these cards are in line. All right, so we've got various cards here. We've got a 1 cost Blood Rush Bellow for a 2 pitch. We've also got Tome of Fiendel, 1 cost with a 2 pitch. Reckless Swing, 3 pitch with a 0 cost if I wanted to play it, or otherwise I throw it out for, or pitch it for energy. And a 1 pitch value, but a 2 cost. So in this part, and getting on with the card, if Drone of Brutality would be put into your graveyard. All right, so this is an attack. It's a 6 attack. Well, there we go. We've got some focusing. It costs 2 up here. And I know that a yellow will give me 2 energy, but in this case I might want to throw out a blue, so I'd pitch that saying that I've got 3 energy, and I would play Drone of Brutality, and I would have 1 energy left over. Now that's an action card. We also have attack reactions, which I'll see if I can find one in this deck. Bear with me one moment. I'm seeing a lot of actions. I've got defense reactions. I'm not sure whether this card has attack reactions. We'll just take a look. Now I've got defense reactions. Look, if I had an attack reaction, I could play that if it costs 1 because I had 3 pitch value. Same thing with defenses. Some defenses, most of them are free, but some will actually cost a certain value, which means you need to pitch a card in your defensive step to play a card. And that is a very good example. I just came across one. This one costs 3. Where are we on the camera? All right, we've got 3. And I would throw out a blue, giving me 3 pitch value in order to play unmovable, which would defend for 7. A huge defense on this one. Yeah. So let's get into the leaders. All right, so that's the basic of how the game plays with the pitch value. It gets a little bit more in depth, and the fact that you've got 3 colors for most cards to decide on makes deck building very technical. Yeah. So you can play it as a fun game. You can play it at a quite technical level. So you start with the leader. I've got leader in 2 different cases. I've got one where I would normally carry him in a case, just in a clear case. That's a token card. So you've got your token for another card. But here's this leader, Rhino, and he's got a special ability here. Over here tells you how many cards he can have with that blue icon. And this is his life total. Now, some leaders will be the young version of this card, and they only have 20 life. Depends what game you're playing. For the base game, we're playing with 40 life. So he's got a hand of 4 and 40 life. He would go out there. Now, with the mat, and I will zoom out a little bit, you'll see the mat here, and I'll go down a little bit, remove some card. Here we go. So, on the play mat area, you've got your hero that you can put there, and this one I've got in a normal case, which I just like. It's a nice heavy case, and he would have a headwear where he can put something for the head, gauntlet, legs, and he's got a chest item as well. He also has a weapon. So I'm going to come into this now. We've got some light issues, unfortunately. Not too important. Like, this is a gauntlet, goes on his arms. This is a headpiece, a chest piece, and a leg piece, okay? So it all forms part of his armor, and we're going to just bring this back into where the character is right now. That's better on the light as well. All right, so the character would go in that space. Nothing happens with the character. You don't go tapping him or anything like that. He just stays there. And they've got a combat chain running along the top here. With various characters, they can get a certain amount of attacks and keep a chain going. Otherwise, it's just a simple attack. Reiner, being a brute, he's very just, you know what's coming. He's like a brick through a window. I'm hitting you with my club. Or I'm hitting you with a particular action. If he had this special ability that had go again, and he had the pitch value that he could keep throwing out cards, he might be able to afford to hit with the club, because his weapon, if you look down here, costs 2. Let's get it right in the camera. It costs 2 in order to attack. So every time he wants to attack with this, he does 2. He's obviously got very special abilities with his character and with his club, which all kick in to make him a very effective attacker. So yeah, now let's see what I've missed out. With the cards, there's about 80 cards to a deck. You can have a sideboard of about 15 cards, which can be made up of extra equipment depending on who you're coming against, because at the beginning of a game, you know what you're coming against. That leader, okay, so I'm going to prepare for that leader with the equipment that I've bought for the day with my deck. Obviously, deck lists are handed in at the beginning of the day. All right, apart from that, the card types, there's normal actions, and a lot of these are brute actions. You've also got generic cards, which are generic actions. So this is an example of a generic action, the Drone of Brutality. Reckless Swing is a brute defense. So Reiner is a brute, and only these cards can be used with brutes. There should be other characters coming out for brute, hopefully. So yeah, usable with other decks as well. So brute action. So you've seen a brute action, you've seen a brute defense. We haven't seen a brute attack reaction, unfortunately. You've also got other stuff such as items. And this is, he can play this as an action. If he's got no other actions to play, then that's the end of his turn. He does have other ways to get more actions in a turn. But this, he would destroy this to gain 2 of these energy in order to maybe swing with his club if he wanted to. And the important thing about this is he can play this as what's called an instant. He can crack it at any time, which allows it to be used on defense as well as attack. Oh, wow. All right. So that's really just the basics of what we're going to cover with Flesh and Blood today. Look, it's a fantastic game. You're going to see that throughout the week as I introduce new heroes, or the heroes within the game, I should say, all up to a lead up for the Crucible of War, which is released at the end of this week. So if you enjoyed that, yeah, this is the cases that I usually use for Flesh and Blood. They are the Boulder cases made by Ultimate. Now, they do fit the normal leader in these type of sleeves, the normal clear sleeves, just fine. If you're going for these nice sleeves, now these are the Ultra Pro mini snaps, fantastic to display a character. As you can see, I've got Rhinar normal and I've got Rhinar as a young hero on the back of that, so I just love flipping it. Now, although they will fit in there, it doesn't close properly with that. There's slight opening there. It's all right for some people. Other people prefer that fully closed, so use those sleeves, which are the clear matte sleeves. I use Dragon Shield myself. Very good sleeves. They also have the coloured back ones with non-glare. And usually for the Dragon Shields, I use for the normal coloured sleeves. Rhinar being green. I like to colour my sleeves for this game. Really like to get involved. All right. If you've got any questions, you like the video, please respond down below. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see you for the next video, and thank you for your time with us today. Have a great one, guys. See ya.